A shockwave from China. Researchers announced a new solid electrolyte that, on paper, could slash material costs by up to 90%. That headline alone was enough to trigger a simple but explosive question. Is this the moment liquid lithium-ion batteries become obsolete? Or is this just another laboratory breakthrough that collapses when exposed to real-world manufacturing and markets as demanding as the United States? Why have solid-state batteries remained so expensive for more than a decade, despite massive global investment? Let's deep dive into this episode today and become our first subscribers for the channel. Thank you, fellas. The lithium sulfide, one of the core precursors in sulfide-based solid electrolytes. From an electrochemical standpoint, lithium sulfide is excellent. It offers high ionic conductivity, compatibility with lithium metal anodes, and favorable electrochemical stability windows. From a manufacturing standpoint, however, it is a nightmare. Industrial-grade lithium sulfide typically costs more than $190 per kilogram, sometimes exceeding $200 depending on purity and supply constraints. For comparison, battery-grade lithium carbonate, even during market peaks, has often hovered far below that on a per-kilogram basis when normalized for lithium content. For solid-state batteries, this single material has quietly kept costs in a range that makes large-scale automotive adoption economically unrealistic. This is where the Chinese breakthrough claims to rewrite the equation. Researchers at the University of Science and Technology of China introduced a new solid electrolyte chemistry. The engineering idea behind this material is deceptively simple, instead of relying heavily on expensive lithium sulfide. The structure partially replaces it with more abundant and cheaper oxygen-containing compounds. Phosphorus-sulfur frameworks are modified so that oxygen plays a stabilizing role, reducing both raw material cost and sensitivity to moisture. On paper, this change alone drops the raw electrolyte material cost to roughly $14.4 per kilogram, nearly 1/15 of conventional sulfide electrolytes. When headlines claim a 90% price drop, this is the math they are pointing to. But lower material cost means nothing if performance collapses. So the next question engineers ask is brutally pragmatic. Does it actually work outside a slide? According to published data, cells using this LPSO electrolyte demonstrated stable operation for more than 400 hours under laboratory cycling conditions. Ionic conductivity remained in the same order of magnitude as conventional sulfide electrolytes, and interfacial resistance with lithium metal anodes was reportedly reduced. When extrapolated to full-scale vehicle packs, proponents suggest this chemistry could support energy densities, enabling 1,000 to 1,500 kilometers of driving range per charge, assuming aggressive pack-level optimization and high nickel or lithium metal anodes. These are numbers that immediately attract attention because they exceed what most commercial lithium-ion packs can deliver today. However, this is the moment where engineering reality starts pushing back against hype. Why? If the chemistry looks so promising, are American and European automakers not rushing to abandon liquid lithium-ion technology in the United States? Lithium-ion batteries are not just a chemistry. They are an industrial fortress built over 3 decades. Gigafactories optimized for LFP and NMC cells have already amortized billions of dollars in capital expenditure. Manufacturing yields, formation protocols, thermal management systems, and recycling pipelines have been refined through tens of millions of vehicles on the road. Thanks in part to policy support, such as the Inflation Reduction Act, battery pack prices in North America are projected to fall toward $60 to $80 per kilowatt-hour by 2026. At that price level, even a radically cheaper electrolyte does not automatically guarantee a cheaper battery pack once new tooling, quality control, and yield losses are factored in. This leads to a deeper question that rarely appears in headlines. Is cost reduction in one component enough to flip an entire battery market for solid-state batteries? The electrolyte is only part of the system. Solid-state cells often require higher stack pressure, more precise interface engineering, and new formation processes. Scaling these from coin cells in a lab to multilayer automotive pouches or prismatic cells introduces mechanical challenges that liquid systems simply do not face. Even small defects can dramatically increase interfacial resistance or cause dendrite penetration over thousands of cycles. From an engineer's perspective, every additional manufacturing constraint adds cost back into the system. eroding the advantage gained from cheaper materials. Geopolitics further complicates the picture. Even if China succeeds in producing solid-state batteries at dramatically lower cost domestically, can that advantage be exported freely? Trade barriers, localization requirements, and national security concerns increasingly shape battery supply chains. In the USETS market, batteries tied too closely to Chinese intellectual property or manufacturing may face tariffs, restricted subsidies, or outright exclusion from federal incentives. This means a battery that is cheap in Shanghai may be economically uncompetitive in Texas once policy friction is applied. Lithium-ion batteries produced within North America, by contrast, benefit from regulatory certainty and established trust. Trust itself is another invisible but powerful barrier. Why do automakers continue to rely on liquid lithium-ion despite well-known fire risks? The answer is data. Lithium-ion batteries have accumulated 10 to 20 years of real-world performance records across climates, duty cycles, and abuse scenarios. Engineers understand their failure modes, degradation curves, and safety envelopes with statistical confidence. Solid-state batteries, even the most promising ones, simply do not yet have this depth of field data at automotive scale. For conservative industries like automotive manufacturing, uncertainty is often more expensive than inefficiency. This sets the stage for what may be the real outcome of China's breakthrough, not immediate replacement, but market segmentation. Solid-state batteries with ultra-high energy density are ideally suited for premium long-range vehicles, where customers are willing to pay for cutting-edge technology. They are also attractive for emerging sectors like electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, where energy density and safety margins can justify higher costs. In these niches, China's solid-state advancements could offer a decisive edge. Meanwhile, lithium-ion batteries in the USAS are likely to continue dominating mass-market vehicles, where affordability, reliability, and supply chain stability matter more than squeezing out the last 20% of energy density. So what does all this mean for the future? China's 90% electrolyte cost reduction is real in a narrow technical sense, and it represents a genuine scientific advance. But the death of traditional lithium-ion batteries is nowhere in sight. Instead, the industry appears to be moving toward coexistence. Solid-state batteries will likely become a strategic technology for performance-driven applications and national technological leadership, while liquid lithium-ion batteries remain the economic backbone of global electric mobility. In the end, the truth is less dramatic than the headlines, but far more interesting. This is not a sudden revolution. It is a slow reshaping of the battery landscape. China's breakthrough shifts the balance of future innovation, but it does not erase decades of industrial optimization overnight. Before you leave, please help us reach our first channel subscribers, and don't forget to click that bell icon to quickly receive notifications about upcoming exciting content. Thank you, fellas.